Welcome to the Upshot, Multi-World Disc Golf's podcast about the latest in the disc golf world. I'm the editor, Charlie Eisenhood. Joining me is Josh Mansfield. It is Thursday, March 27th, and we are not getting ready for a tournament this weekend. We got Jonesboro Open, A tier, but not quite the same, Josh, when it's not on the tour, and kind of a weird whole situation with it, to be honest. 2 rounds of 27 holes. To meet the requirement for an A tier, only playing over 2 days, Friday, Saturday, and the tournament's only half full. I feel like it's kind of bad times for this tournament.
It feels a little bit like it, that's for sure. Yeah. Oh boy, imagine going from the tour to having to run 27 holes on 2 courses in 2 days in the same day just to make sure you can fit into an A tier slot. Like, that's tough.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with this tournament moving forward, but not a super great look, you know.
Yeah.
Like MPO only has 54 out of 100 registrants, FPO 12 of 36. Yeah. So I don't know, it just doesn't fit into tour as well this year, and this is why the go throw stuff I think makes more sense, because it's like more directly on the path.
Yeah.
Set up to be like a thing with video coverage. I do think Terry Miller will be covering Jonesboro. So, and there are some good players going. It's not going to be, I'm sure that the top cards will still be entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely going to be, I think that is an interesting point though, of like, if Go Throw were to become like the warmer tour, like the back warming, or like the warming
Silver
tour.
Series.
Yeah, like, well, but the Pro Tour doesn't have to put money in it, right? So if you have events that are like, DDO, Jonesboro, this isn't your year, right? We're not having you on the tour this year. We're changing it up. Like, the first thing that I would be doing if I were those events is I'd be calling Go Throw and being like, how do I get on this tour, right? How do I get added? Like, where do I put the dates? And obviously, this is the first year, but moving forward, if I find that out, I'm calling Go Throw and saying, put me on your tour. I want to stay like on the schedule in a way that is feasible for me to come back easily next year.
The lack of PDGA sanctioning for a bunch of these events, though, that is like a weird, like, you risk putting your tournament into a spot where the PDGA doesn't give you the A tier slot in the future if like this only lasts 1 season.
Sure.
I don't know. It's all a little bit weird. Can we get along, everyone?
The no PDGA sanctioning makes no sense.
Major League Baseball opening day.
Congratulations.
Giants going to shock the world.
Okay.
Hey, listen. It's not that many years since the Giants stunned everyone and won the NL West when the Dodgers were supposed to be so good.
You're right.
However,
so you want to make a bet,
even
Charlie?
I will acknowledge that this year's iteration of the Dodgers is overwhelmingly good.
Oh, man. Yeah, the Dodgers are so good.
It's stupid sport, man. What lack of salary cap, so dumb.
What sport lets you defer payments for a $1 billion contract?
What the hell, man? It's so stupid. All right, we got a lot to get to today. We got a little bit of I have some really good news to start the show.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is not going to have come across a lot of people's radar yet, I don't think. And I'm very happy to tell you these things. Harmony Bends, the Columbia, Missouri course that is, widely been considered one of the best in the U.S., has briefly been on tour as a silver for a couple of years. And I think it was actually maybe on the Pro Tour one year.
It might have been. Wasn't it flooding issues that have kept it?
That's exactly that issue. And in fact, a couple years ago, 2021, they had to move the tournament, Mid-America Open, off of Harmony Bends because of the flooding.
To that garbage little park course. And then
truly
it was
atrocious.
Torrential downpour.
It was a disaster, dude.
Yeah.
And, I think this is one of those courses where it's like, I think the tour would love to be there sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it's a marvelous course. But it's had big problems with the rain, and it just becomes unplayable at some point.
Yeah.
So, what is the news? Well, here you go. They are making additional changes, including refreshed sidewalks compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act. That's cool.
Yeah.
Improved drainage at disc golf holes, low water crossings in the place of boulder crossings, and a new drinking fountain. They're putting in low water crossings on holes 1 and 18, improving a couple of other holes, and restoring the shoreline along the creek, which in theory, that will also help with drainage. Mm-hmm. And quote from Columbia Disc Golf President Adam Morrison in the article on the Columbia Missourian newspaper. The course is tended to have some issues with flooding since it is built in a floodplain, but those issues are going to be very largely resolved with the low water passes. Essentially, it's just a crossing that won't implement as much disruption with the creek and the natural surroundings.
That's excellent news.
The proof will be in the pudding, but could this be the steps towards this tournament coming back onto the pro scene?
Yeah, I sure hope so. I'm curious, Charlie, does said article provide any mention of funding mechanism for this?
You would ask about that, wouldn't you?
I would. Well, I have a reason. I have an important reason for this.
Well, Columbia Parks and Recreation is doing the renovations.
Okay.
The city it doesn't specify what. Well,
here's why.
But the city council will have to approve this plan to complete the improvements. Though, the way this sounds, it's going to be rubber stamp.
Yeah, it should be. Yep. Here's why I ask. Anytime you see a mention of such as like creek bed or shoreline restoration, ADA sidewalk compliance, that screams to me federal grants, right? That they have funding.
Fair point.
And I will say, like here in Pocatello, we have curb and sidewalk improvements funded by the Department of Transportation. We have a park that is getting restored because it's considered an environmental necessity in order to preserve, like the ecology of Pocatello. And all of those give us access to federal funding in order to make these improvements. The reason I ask this, Charlie, not just because I'm a nerd who enjoys asking about city improvement projects, but if you are looking to make improvements to a course, identify what kind of amenities that you could include. Could it become a crossing path or a walkway that has accessibility for ADA compliance? Is it next to an important ecological area? That can open up expansive grant opportunities. Start looking for that and then go to your city and say, hey, because a lot of cities will have grant managers, and say, hey, have we applied for these kind of projects? Would any of them qualify for this place? Here's an idea that we have, and see what they say. Because that's the biggest hesitation that you're going to get from cities, right? Is funding, like putting the money to maintain and develop a course. But if you could get grant funding to cover the upfront cost of renovations, you can make some good improvements to your local course.
Yeah, and I think I swear this came to me right now. I think I'm going to start Dodge, the Department of Disc Golf Efficiency. How is it possible that it's that good?
Oh my god.
Steve will be on the board.
Obviously.
And we will implement the efficient use of federal money to make our disc golf courses better.
Question for you.
Okay.
Do you plan on including including journalists on attack plans in group chats?
I'm going to just text whoever I got.
Cool. That foundation's just going to be in all the group texts.
We're going too close. People are going to delete our account. People are going to listen.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's continue. More good news. Also about a course. Also about a very good course.
Okay.
This is a little closer to home for me. Stafford Woods, the best course in New Jersey, was looking like it was going to get taken out of the ground. So big, complicated, local regulation issue.
Sure.
But the state, this article just came out 2 days ago. The state has agreed to let Voorhees Township save the disc golf course in Stafford Woods Park. So the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection had ordered it to dismantle and eliminate the course because the course was on, is in a park that has a deed of conservation to only allow passive recreation, walking, hiking, horseback riding, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, etc. Not quite sure why disc golf doesn't qualify there.
Because you have to make alterations.
And I think that's what happened, basically. So they took out some trees to build a course, of course. And they did these things. And so then I guess the state found out and was like, nuh-uh, you got to tear this course out. But people stepped up, including the mayor, the township committee, of course, disc golfers, the course designer Adam Harris, state legislative leaders from Camden County, and they're gonna put in the changes that need to happen according to the Department of Environmental Protection, and they're going to keep the course. So they're going to have to replant at a minimum, a mitigation plan for the 90 trees that were removed from the site. They're going to have to explain how shrubs will be replaced to compensate for the undergrowth that was removed. And a site visit showed that, quote, significant areas could have shrub plantings restored without impacting disc golf play. The plan also requires the township to clear all obstructions from the original Stafford walking trail to, quote, minimize deviations of the trail and encourage use of the trail as delineated in the deed. Pallets, wood and paver piles, tents, tables, and chairs must be removed from the part of the park limited by the deed of conservation, according to the NJDEP. So, hey, look, it's a bunch of regulatory stuff. It's kind of a pain. Mm-hmm. It probably feels like a little unnecessary because, like, who's using this land besides the disc golfers? But you know what? These are the compromises you have to make, and this is how you keep a course in the ground. And so shout out to everybody who got this done.
Yeah, it's a lot of great efforts. It's always encouraging because I think the news that most often hits Reddit and is the most common is hearing of courses being pulled, and so it's always encouraging to hear that. Like, and I think you hear less about because I think in most cases it's like city goes, hey, we might pull this course. Community goes, please don't, and they go, oh yeah, okay, makes sense, and then you don't hear about it ever. And so it's nice to hear about it, especially in some of these pretty significant courses when it comes to U.S. disc golf. Yeah.
So two elite courses being saved / improved. It's great to see. All right. We want to take a little zoom out and look at some of the numbers from this year. By the way, Niklas Anttila will be joining us a little bit later to talk about becoming the Finnish Cowboy. I mean, is he the first Finnish Cowboy? Has that phrase ever been uttered before? I'm Googling Finnish Cowboy. Here we go. The Leningrad Cowboys were a Finnish rock band who performed rock and roll covers of other songs. Otherwise, the Finnish Cowboy basically just links to Niklas. So
help me, if his Discmania celebratory disc isn't a Finnish Cowboy, I'm gonna be so mad.
What do you want it to be? You want it to be his face or just a cowboy hat or like?
I don't care. I'm not even. I could just literally
Niklas on a Bronco, like lassoing a basket.
You know, like the classic cowboy logo, like the silhouette cowboy with the hat in the air.
Sure.
I want that with Finnish flag colors, and so it's like white with the blue stripes.
Okay,
that's what I want.
I like that,
and I want it on a blue Color Glow PD.
Okay, well,
Nicholas,
you know what?
You don't get a choice anymore.
You'll buy one if they do that, right?
Oh. I'd buy 4 if they did that.
Josh will buy 4.
I will buy 4. Silhouette cowboy, hat in the air, white horse, blue lines, blue Color Glow PD. Done. I'll buy 4 right now. I'm done. I take my money so fast. I don't care if you charge Latitude 64 prices for this one. You make it like Kristen's signature disc and charge me $35 a disc. I'd still probably buy 4. That'd be the most incredible disc in the world. Without a doubt in my mind. If you know what? Listen, Charlie, I might even buy 1 if it's just block text that says Finnish Cowboy on it, and that's it.
That's fair.
That's incredible. I want to throw something that says Finnish Cowboy on it so bad. If it just says Open at Austin Champion, though, I refuse to buy one out of principle.
All right, you know what?
I don't care if it's on the best.
Just laid down the gauntlet. It's up to them.
I did.
It's up to them.
I slapped him with the glove. Oh man.
All right. Josh, I want to ask you.
Okay.
Can you name the players who have come out this season and finished inside the top 10 at every tournament so far?
Every tournament. Okay.
Every tournament. There are 2 MPO players and 5 FPO players.
Well, one of the FPO players has got to be Evelina, right?
Absolutely not Evelina, no.
When did she finish outside the top 10?
Great question. I will tell you right now. The answer is Waco.
What did she
finished
finish?
14th.
Oh. I'm pretty sure at Open in Austin, they kept talking about her top 10 streak on coverage. Like a lot.
I can't speak to that. I do not know. But if they did, they were wrong.
I felt so confident about this one because I remember they were like, oh, Evelina really is going to need some help.
To finish inside the top 10 again?
Yeah. Someone messaged us on Discord. Tell me if I'm crazy. I'm actually going to go look this up afterwards now because I feel like I'm losing my mind. Okay, anyway, let's move on from Evelina then. All right, top 10, every event, 2 MPO, 5 FPO. Does it matter if said player has not played all 3 events?
I will give you that Kristen did finish top 10 in both of her tournament starts.
Okay. Is she not in the 5?
But she was not included in the number that I just gave you.
That is fine. Either
I understand that's like an asterisk situation.
Yeah. Just got to check. Okay. All right. Well, you got to give me Holland at the top.
Holland is correct.
Okay. Give me Ella.
Yep. That's
Give
2.
me Own.
3 more. Own is correct. These are the harder 2.
Okay, I have someone I want to pick, but I don't think that's right. Is Rebecca Cox one of them?
She is.
Okay.
She's finished in the back end of the top 10 at all 3 tournaments. In fact, one of those was because she went nuclear at Waco in the final round and jumped into the top 10.
Nice. Okay, sick.
One more.
I think Silva.
Perennial, not Silva.
No,
she
Silva
did horrible at Waco. Wind.
Yeah.
Perennial top 10 finisher, 1-time tour winner.
1 time. Not her. 1 time. Is it Cat Merch?
Sure is.
Okay.
So there's your 5 in FPO.
Nice.
Holland, Ella, Own, Merch, and Cox. There are 2 players in MPO.
Is Paul Macbeth one of them?
No, it's a good guess. I think he wasn't far off, but no.
Okay.
He was 11th at Waco.
Oh, dang it. Okay.
Otherwise, yes.
Oh, that's too bad.
He's had a very nice start.
Yeah, he has had a very nice start. How about Calvin?
Correct.
Okay.
5th, 10th for Calvin.
Okay. I was worried about Open at Austin. That was the one I was unsure about. So, okay. So we got Calvin. Not him. It's not Anthony Perella, is it?
It's not.
I don't know who the other one would even be.
It's somebody who's been surprisingly great to start the year, including a win. I narrowed the field.
That's it. Well, let me think. I wouldn't call him surprising.
So you have Hamas, Ezra, or Nicholas.
I would probably say Hamas.
It's Hamas.
Okay, I would say the only one who would be like surprisingly strong start could be Hamas.
I mean, I guess I would only say it's surprisingly strong because he's got 3 straight top 10s.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's exactly right. Like if you said to me Nicholas went 9th, 7th on a win at Open at Austin, I wouldn't call that surprisingly strong.
I mean, like I want to just like tip the cap to Hamas a little bit. I mean, he goes up against AB, Simon, Macbeth, Calvin at Waco, and he beats all of them. And has to like clutch up pretty huge to do it.
Yeah.
That is, I don't think a lot of people were picking him before that final round to be the one who ended up taking home the title.
Oh, for sure. And I also think there's a lot of value. Like it's nice that it's not like 70th win at Waco, 34th, right? It's because then you just you write it off as Waco, right?
Right.
But the combination of the performance at the other events gives him a lot of credit, I think.
I mean, it feels like Hamas maybe is unlocking a higher level of play.
Yeah.
I mean, he is not like last year. He finished 16th on tour. Unsurprisingly, he's sitting in first right now. And it's just like for all of his finishes to be above his performance level last year is a very good sign.
Great sign.
And I think it's like he's always had the tools.
I know.
Right? One of the best forehands on tour, great putter. He's a 30% plus C2 guy. Like just very, very skilled. It just feels like he's sometimes just doesn't have it. Like consistency's been a problem. Yeah. But I know it's only been 3 tournaments. Very, very consistent and solid start this year.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. And it's just interesting. It's fun. Him and Kyle Klein used to be like, it's not like they're not young, but they used to be like, that was the young crew, right?
Sure.
And that is just not like it's felt different because of Gannon, right? That's
right.
Gannon has just kind of like blown that narrative up, and so it's cool to see guys like Kyle and Adam who are having good starts to their season.
So it's been a very interesting start in MPO. Would you be surprised if I told you that no player has podiumed more than once through 3 events?
Wow. I don't think I ever would have realized that.
So there are 10 players who have finished on the podium. There was a tie for third at one of the events. Ezra Robinson, Anthony Barella, Paul Macbeth, Adam Hammis, Simon Lizotte, Nicola Castro, Evan Smith, Niklas Anttila, Kyle Klein, and Gannon Burr. And then, of course, we have 3 unique winners.
Yeah.
Very balanced start.
Yeah, it really is. Wow.
And crazy, right?
Yeah, it is.
But it's what feels weird is that it does feel like we're seeing the best players playing well, right?
Right. Yes.
And we've seen really strong play from Anthony Barella. We've seen really, I would say that, Ezra Robinson's been really good to start this year. Kyle Klein has been good. Gannon has been maybe not to the level we expected, but he's been good. And we talked on Tuesday about how his stats look awesome.
Yeah.
Macbeth's been really good. Calvin's been really good. Nicholas, a little bit more up and down. He had a slow start at SFO, but Ricky played bad at Waco, but otherwise 4th, 7th.
Yeah.
Simon, a 6th place and a 2nd place finish. I think it's very interesting that all these guys feel like they're playing well, and yet we haven't seen like any kind of dominance at all because we just have this like totally wide open set of players so far.
Yeah, it is interesting. It also, it doesn't feel much. I mean, except for Gannon, it doesn't feel like anybody is regressing back to a pack. It feels like some of the guys who've had potential but don't always execute on that potential are moving up to, the top tier, and that's always fun to see as well.
Right.
It feels like it's been good golf, right? And that's always nice.
Over in FPO, we have seen a little bit more upper tier play separating from everyone else. But that said, we still do have 3 unique winners. Ella, Kristen, Holland.
Yep.
Holland has finished on the podium 3 straight times. She got second, first. And, of course, is at the top of the standings right now. Kristen, 2 podiums. And then your other podium finishers, Ella, of course, and then Evelina, Hannah, and Owen. That's a pretty good snapshot of the best players in FPO.
Yep.
I mean, the only player that you really feel like is missing from that group is Missy Gannon.
Yeah. Who apparently might be dealing with injury.
Sounds like she's dealing with a little shoulder something.
Yeah, it's too bad. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, basically what you'd expect.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the statistics behind the start of the season in our new Pound for Pound segment. Here we go. All right, Pound for Pound is presented by Pound Disc Golf Carry Excellence. So, Josh, what are we putting up head-to-head this week?
All right, before we get into the broader stats, Pound for Pound, we're going to compare the 2 players who have been at the top of FPO statistically. I'm going to rattle off categories. You're going to tell me who leads in that category. Is it Holland or is it Kristen?
Okay, just between the two of them.
Just between the two of them. Yep.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Birdie percentage.
Holland.
Holland is correct. 38.8 to 36.1%.
I assume 38.8 is leading the tour.
That
right
is
now.
Correct. Okay. Yes. And 36 would be second on tour.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they're 1-2.
1-2. Yes. We have 1-2 in statistical categories. In basically, the important statistics. You're really looking at basically 1-2 here, which makes it nice for the pound for pound segment. Next up, par percentage.
Par percentage.
Yes.
Kristen.
It is Kristen by a significant margin, 49% to 41%.
Yeah, Holland's kind of like had some blow up holes.
Holland does have 2.5% higher in birdie percentage, which accounts for some of it, but that still would leave you with about a 6-point difference of like Holland bogeying more than Kristen does. So that's where Kristen kind of gets the edge here. Fairway hit percentage.
Kristen.
It is Kristen, 81 to 78. Kind of goes along with
pretty close.
Yeah, the stat we were going with. The rest of these, I will say, are significantly closer. There is, okay, park percentage.
Holland.
Still Holland, that is right, 12 to 11.
Close.
I mean, right there. You've got second and third. Evelina is your other player. Circle 1 in regulation.
Holland.
Yep, 45-44. Circle 2 in regulation.
Kristen.
It is Kristen.
I'm cooking right now, folks.
You are cooking.
I am cooking. I swear I'm not looking.
Scramble percentage.
I got to go with Kristen. She's been so good.
It is Kristen, 45 to 42.
It's pretty close, but I mean, Kristen's had some unbelievable scramble shots to start this year.
We're down to 3 categories. Can Charlie sweep the board?
I'm going for it.
Circle 1, C1X putting percentage.
I already know. I tell you right now, Holland is better in both putting categories.
Holland is better in both putting percentage, and this one isn't even very close.
Here, before you go on, I will tell you this: Holland has been the better putter than Kristen for over a year.
Yeah.
She led Kristen in both C1 and C2 putting last year, which it doesn't feel true.
I know,
but the numbers are the numbers.
Yeah, I thought I might get you on the putting, so well done.
I think if you had a clutch putting measure, Kristen would dominate.
Sure. I'd be interested to know what that looks like, right? But that'd be an interesting category.
And there's also the caveat that like I feel like maybe Kristen is inside C2 more, and so she's taking more C2 misses, even if she's really more like laying up from 60 feet.
But
compared to Holland, but that's me speculating.
Ever since Kristen got rid of the jumper, her C2 has never been the same.
That's a good point.
Never.
Listen, if I had to take one player to jam a clutch putt from like 38 feet, I'm taking Kristen every time.
For your life, yeah, you're picking Kristen.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, last one. OB rate. I
have to say, Kristen is doing better there.
And folks, there it is. The last category, Holland 0.099, Kristen 0.157.
No.
Yeah.
Bro, that sucks. I wonder if I wonder if that's because of Waco and like everyone was going OB some.
Maybe.
Because it was windy. I don't know.
Yeah,
because Kristen didn't play the first tournament.
Maybe.
I don't think there's too much OB on that course. I don't know.
There's definitely some though.
I'm just coping right now.
That's fair. Almost.
Damn.
One category short. That was close. But here's the thing. The point that I think is worth highlighting. Fairway hits. So birdie percentage 1-2. Fairway hits 1-2. Parked 2-3. C1 circle 1 regulation 1-2. Circle 2 in regulation 2-1. Scramble percentage 7th, 3rd. C1X putt, and then the putting is where it starts to fall off a bit. But in every throwing category, it is basically 1-2.
Listen, I just wrote up my top 10 free agents for next offseason. The sponsorship free agents.
Yeah,
it's up on the Ultra Disc Golf website, and of course, Kristen's number one.
Has to be.
That's not changing. but I have Holland at number 2 on that list.
It's great. Great.
Because I think Holland has a chance to become the top player this year.
Yeah.
Maybe win a pody. She's obviously the front runner, you know, statistically right now. Now, you know, maybe if you're betting on it in Vegas, you're probably still betting on Kristen. But I think that Holland is showing us that she's right there. She finished ahead of Kristen in the standings last year.
Yeah, she did. She did. So, I think it's a fair take. So, Charlie, that's pound for pound.
All right. Great stuff.
Yeah.
Now, what else do we have statistically here? We got some MPO stats. I'm very curious to talk about the leaders in the categories.
I've got some stats for you then, Charlie.
All right.
This one I'll give you the softball because you pointed this out. I think it was either Tuesday or in the Rapid Reacts. Who is first on MPO in both Circle 1 in regulation and Circle 2 in regulation?
It's Gannon.
It is Gannon.
Which is why no one should panic.
That's right. Put the panic button away. Close the lid. We're not pressing the red button yet because Gannon is the statistical leader in the 2 most important categories in disc golf. To your point, though, that you made, is that his putting has not been quite as sharp as it has been before. He ranks 50th on tour. Charlie, do you know what his... excuse me, that is not correct. He ranks... he is 16th on tour. Do you know what his C1X putting is? I will give you plus... If you get it within a point, plus or minus, you got it.
82.
No, it is 86.
Okay.
So it's still not bad, but we've seen Gannon in previous years be up on like almost the 90 mark. So it is a couple percentage points off, but the real knock is in his Circle 2 putting, where he ranks 75th on tour. Charlie, C2 putting percentage.
I think I just looked at this. It's like 14.
It's 18.
Okay.
Yeah, so a little bit higher, but still, I mean,
we're
good.
Talking. I mean, he's a 35 plus guy.
Yeah, he's half at what the rate should be for the top players.
Again, I think this is a little bit of early season noise. Some of the wind, like it's really going to affect that. But it also probably tells us somewhat of a story that like he's just not dialed in from deep right now, and we've seen him miss a lot of putts.
Yeah. And let's keep on putting here. Your C1X putting percentage leader isn't really the story here. Do you want to take a quick guess, Charlie, who that might be?
C1X putting leader.
Yeah. Don't overthink this.
Is it still Yuli?
It is not Yuli.
Marweed.
It is Marweed. Yeah, okay. There you go. Marweed, 95.8%.
Oh,
dude,
what a beast!
Sicko.
That's crazy.
I think the second place player is actually the more interesting story. He's the best player inside of the top 20. He is currently putting at a 91% clip in Circle 1X. Do you know who that is, Charlie?
Ezra Robinson.
It is not Ezra Robinson.
Who is it?
It's someone whose putting fails them when they get in, like, and that's typically the critique is kind of what pulls them out of contention. Circle 1 putting, at least.
Calvin.
It's Calvin. Calvin is the best
it's not
putter.
Gossage. It is not Gossage.
It's not Gossage. No.
Yeah, no, Calvin he's been really good on the green so far.
Really good on the green. Yeah. Typically a category that we're giving him a little bit of a hard time on. So, it's pretty exciting. All right. Sticking with putting themes, we're going to switch over to FPO.
I'll tell you what, if he keeps that up, he's going to have a great year.
Calvin's getting out of the shed if he keeps that up.
Yeah, I think he's been looking real sharp. Yes. I mean, I know he had the disaster blow up on Waco, but like, it's going to happen.
Yeah, but that wasn't on the putting green either.
No, it wasn't. And I actually think he putted amazing the whole weekend.
He did.
He has to like deal with the clutch factor, but like he's going to be in spots where he's just way out in front at tournaments if he keeps putting like this.
Yep.
And like doesn't matter if he doesn't play that great in the final round.
Completely agree.
Calvin fans should be happy with his performance so far, despite the like heartbreak at Waco.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
And the putting percentage definitely indicates as such. Okay, I want to know, can you guess the high water marks, the statistical percentage that is leading the field for Circle 1 and Circle 2 putting in FPO?
87 in C1,
Okay.
And 22 in C2. Is that too low?
Oh, ye of little faith. 90% C1X putting for Deanne Carey.
Deanne Carey, let's go.
Deanne Carey, north of 90%. 90.6. On C2, Paige Pierce, 31%.
Oh, wow. Paige, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Higher than I thought as well. So I give you a hard time for it. But
What were the numbers from last year? I don't think we've seen a 30% FPO C2 putter over the course of a season yet.
I thought Own cracked
Maybe
it,
she did crack,
but I don't remember if she held it for the entire season. So let's go take a little look.
We saw
so Holly, okay.
Own was 28% last year.
Yeah, 28% in Circle 2. And then Holly Finley was the leader at 84%. But Owen was next at 83.7%. So, but less than a full percentage point off from Holly Finley.
Owen's still the best putter on tour, but I think Silva's got a chance to take the crown this year.
I'm so glad that you talked about that, Charlie, because I have some statistics for you about Silva here. I think there is something so Owen this year is putting, this honestly could have been our pound for pound segment because they are right next to each other. Owen is out putting Silva in Circle 1, 82 to 80%. Pretty close though, right? Silva is dogging on Owen in Circle 2 putting, 30% for Silva and 18% for Owen.
Owen's been, by her standards, bad from C2.
She has. And Silva is putting up elite numbers on the putting green right now. 80
Sick.
and 30. It's if she finishes with those numbers, that would be the best statistical season putting that we have seen.
Yeah, there are only 5 players over 80 in C1 last year. Owen, Silva, Holly, Holland Handley, and Lisa Fakis. And then there were, I think, 6 players over 20% C2. Holland, Cadence Burge, Paige Pierce, Valerie Mondahano, Silva Sarn, and Owen Scoggins. So, by the way, just want to point out, Holland is now one of the best putters on tour.
Yeah.
That's a full season from 2024, and it's been good to start this year, too. And I know that she's, missed some high-profile putts, but, compare this to a couple years ago. She was missing,
everything.
Bunnies in C1.
Yeah.
And she has really overcome that and is now easily a top 10 putter, maybe top 5.
Yeah. That's impressive.
It is.
It really is.
It's why she's pulling away from players like Evelina and Henna and Ella.
Yeah. It must be nice not to have the Finnish curse, right? That makes you incapable of being any better at putting. Speaking of, did you see Allie Smith throwing the putter?
I did.
I was like, Henna, take notes. Watch this form because this is what you should do.
Because wait a minute, I feel like Allie Smith's been actually out to a pretty good statistical start on the putting green.
Is she?
Maybe I'm making that up.
I feel like you're probably you're making that up.
I'm totally making that up. I'm confusing it for fairway hits or something.
Something else.
I saw that she was doing well somewhere.
Yeah, she's 4th in fairway hits.
She's been solid to start the year.
She's a worse Circle
but she's
1
the worst putter
Henna
right now on tour.
Yeah,
so
the worst.
Never mind.
Can you guess Henna's Circle 2 putting percentage?
Probably close to 0. Maybe she's made 1. It's probably 1%.
It's 0.
I'm not surprised.
Oh, that was not planned. I just happened to be down there because I was looking for Allie Smith, and so I'm sorry. I really was not planning on doing that. Okay, last stats here, Charlie.
Okay.
DGPT's statistics page ranks players first and foremost by birdie percentage.
Right.
That's considered, the most important stat. It makes sense. It kind of encapsulates everything, right? And so that's the most important. I want you to rank the top 5 players for me by birdie percentage. I will give you them in a different order, and then you have to rank them based on their birdie percentage. The 5 players that you have over on FPO. You have Evelina, Kristen, Kat Murch, Holland, and Silva.
Number 1, Holland. Number 2, Kristen.
Yep. Kind of gave that up in the pound
number
for pound.
Number 3, Ev. Who were the other 2? Silva and
Kat Murch.
Then I'll go Kat, Silva.
All right. You're lucky I gave you the first two because boy did you struggle on the back three. Silva is second or third.
Okay.
She is ahead of Evelina in birdie percentage.
Okay.
However, Silva has a lot more bogeys, and so that's where she begins to fall off quickly. Evelina is fourth, and Kat Merch is fifth.
Okay.
MPO, same exercise. Your list is Gannon, Ezra, AB, Paul, Adam Hammes.
Gannon won. Was Heimberg on the list or no?
Heimberg was not on the list. So you got left is Ezra, AB, Paul, Adam.
AB 2, Adam 3, Paul 4, and whoever was left 5.
Ezra.
Well,
congratulations, Charlie. You got it almost in perfect reverse order. Ezra is number 1.
Okay.
He has the most birdies. Now, here's the thing. Ezra, Paul, and Adam are actually perfectly tied at birdie percentage, but Ezra gets tiebreaker in the least amount of bogeys, then Paul, then Adam.
Okay.
And so it goes Ezra, Paul, Adam, and then Gannon and AB finishing out the rest of the group. But that's how good Ezra Robinson has been.
And maybe
he has
speaks
the
to
best.
Gannon's putting being a little down. Because
It does. Yeah.
I feel like, he's been the best player, tee to green.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he's not leading a birdie percentage tells you that he's struggling a little bit on the greens.
He's not closing out on those holes. Yeah. And to that point, Gannon's got less bogeys than Adam Hammes, but and when it comes to birdie par percentage combination, Ezra Robinson has birdie or parred 92% of holes on tour so far, and that is the top by a handful. Gannon's at 88, so Ezra's got 4 percentage points between birdies and pars on Gannon. Fascinating.
All right, well, there's a breakdown for the first 3 tournaments of the year. The Music City Open is coming up next weekend. We got on Thursday, we have the first match play rounds happening because they got this new match play thing going on. Now, we haven't really announced many details about it, but Josh, I'm commentating both the match play and Music City. Okay. I've seen the pairings for the first round of match play, which is, I think it's going to be like pool play.
Okay.
And I am excited for what I have seen.
All right.
So more to come on Tuesday. Coming up next, Niklas Anttila joins us right here on The Upshot. Stay with us. The Upshot is presented by Pound Disc Golf, makers of the best bags in the sport. Now, you should already know they have custom bag programs for all of their bags, so you can get exactly what you're looking for. And they usually feature these bags whenever they make a batch of them over on their social media channels. And your bag could get selected as the valedictorian, the best of the bunch. How about this Rufus in the Typhon and Marine? Beautiful, like the snake scale black with the blue trim. Really nice looking. And you get the valedictorian patch if it's selected. Very cool. These Rufuses all look fantastic. You can get exactly the bag of your dreams if you go over to pounddiscgolf.com and check out their custom bag maker. No pressure. You can just create a bag, take a look at it, and think about what it's going to be, and come back and buy it later if you want. So go over and check it out at pounddiscgolf.com. Welcome back to The Upshot. Joining us now is the Finnish Cowboy himself, Niklas Anttila. You now have 2 cowboy hats. What is the plan? Are you going to wear them every other day? Are you going to wear them both at the same time? How do you manage a crazy 2 cowboy hat household?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I need to have a plan, actually. Maybe I need to have one in Finland and one in the US, so I can tour with one, and then I can have one back home. Or then I can have a party hat and then a everyday hat. That's also a good plan.
Well, you're going to Nashville next weekend, and that is a great place to have a cowboy hat.
That's true. Maybe I need to have it on my round or something. I think it might fly off my head, but I can try.
At least tee off on hole 1 with it on.
Yes, yes.
Well, another great weekend at the Open at Austin. What was this experience like compared to last year?
Yeah, I think the biggest difference was like coming back to the Harry Penny course. It was like pretty magical to see all those holes again and see where I made my putts from and stuff like that. And just like all the memories kicked in on the first practice round. Mm. And also with the new course this year, I felt like because I haven't been playing this or like as good as I played last year coming into this tournament. So the new course like even gave me some confidence because it was like almost made for me. I think every hole was like so easy to me. The first time I saw it was like, okay, I would throw this disc on this line and it's gonna work pretty easily for me. So it just gave me some confidence really needed because I haven't been playing my best this season yet. So
What is it about the Open at Austin that sets up well for your game?
I think it's really about just placing your drives and you really need to like have a good game plan on that course. I feel like even it's a golf course, it feels like a regular disc golf to me, and you need to like have your landing spots and like really think about your game plan more than just throw super far and just have something left for a birdie. Um, I have always been pretty good at that kind of disc golf, so I think that's a big role, like why. And then just, I think usually when I have a good history on a course, I do good on that course like every time. Um, so I think those two things are like the biggest on like why I do good. And I also like Austin. Austin, like one of my favorite cities in the US. So
That's a
that's a
good take.
combination of those things.
That's a good take. Austin is a really nice place.
Yeah, it's growing so fast.
Yeah, and has been for like 15 years or something.
Yeah.
So you want to give us your thoughts on hole 18, Sprinkle Valley?
I think the first time I saw it, I did not like it to be honest. But the more I played it and the more I like got my reps in and I got to practice the hole, I think I really like the idea of it. I think if they took out a couple trees on the second landing zone, like before you need to go for the island, I think it's one of the best like finishing holes in disc golf for MPO at least. I think for FPO they need like something different, maybe like a drop zone or I don't know what, but I think I think it's like one of those holes where you on the when you're on the tee pad you think like, okay, I can lose this tournament on one hole. Like that's crazy. That's like only one hole in this tournament that you can lose whole tournament on, and I think that's what we need in disc golf more. Like you need to be scared to throw like shots, and you need to be scared on the tee pad or putting straight at OB. So I just think that holes like that are good for the sport, and I don't know about you guys. Like, did you watch the tournament? Did you enjoy watching it? But at least if I think like watching a tournament, I would like to watch like difficult holes more than easy holes. So
Go ahead, Josh.
No, Charlie, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, I think with tweaks, it can be a good hole. I think like conceptually, the hole is fine. And frankly, for MPO, it maybe is just fine as it is. I mean, there were still a lot of big numbers.
yeah.
But I just feel like, at least for FPO at a minimum, they need to create some ability for players to play for par more easily. Either
Yeah.
adding some inbound space up above the stairs or making it hazard, or going to a drop zone after one shot or two shots, or the rules as they stand were clearly just too punitive for FPO. They shot
hmm
3.25 strokes over par on average.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Uh, that's also like my first time when I played the hole. Like, I was like, this is going to be so hard to me, and I went to I went back to throw the approach like I think three times, and each time I had like five discs with me, and I maybe made like four of them combined. So I don't know,
Wow.
like what happened in the tournament because I made it first try both times. But
What,
I think everybody should have the approach. Like if you go OB and you have like 170 or 180 left, I think everybody should have that in the tournament.
what makes that shot so hard? Why are players struggling so much? Because MPO and FPO are basically playing the same approach shot there. What's so hard about it?
Yeah, I think it's two things. It's like number one, it's blind, so you can even see like the island you're throwing to, and then second is like you need to have the distance, and also you can't go left or right too much because it's pretty narrow. So you need to throw a perfect shot. You can't like get away with bad one like either way. So it's those two things, and I think it's also like the pressure the island makes you in your head. I think that's like also I saw like so many players missing the island for the first time, and then it just like went crazy, and they were not like taking their time and stuff like that. So it's playing with players' minds for sure.
I'm assuming with Discmania will get a commemorative disc for winning the Open at Austin. I said this before you came on, and I just want to just reiterate for you. If it does not have Finnish Cowboy on it somewhere, I refuse to buy it out of principle. If it has Finnish Cowboy, I'll buy 4 of them. So, as you're designing that disc, please keep that in consideration.
Okay, I will make sure that we have a Finnish Cowboy disc at some point.
All right. The recommendation.
I'm sure we
have
will
you ever
have it.
seen the rodeo silhouette? Like the guy with the cowboy on the horse, with his hat in the air.
Yeah.
I just need that on a disc in Finnish colors, white with like blue stripes. Chef's kiss. That's
Okay,
that would be sick, right?
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
All right.
Disc in the hand of the cowboy, though. That's
instead of a hat.
yeah,
there you go.
Kicker.
There it is. That's what I
true.
want. Nicholas, you put that on a PD, and I will buy a lot of them. So,
All right. Deal.
I want to ask you about your time playing here versus playing in Europe. What is it? What do you notice that's different? And I kind of put that in a broad category of like, how are the fans different? How do the courses feel? What is it like traveling around the United States versus traveling around Nordic Europe? I went 2 years ago for the European Open and PCS. I was in basically just Helsinki and then up in Nokia. So I've seen a little bit of that part of the world, but only a glimpse. So I'd be really curious for your thoughts on just sort of like the cultural differences and then the disc golf differences.
Yeah, I think almost everything is different. I feel like the disc golf is like the only thing that is like almost like a safe place to me that I can go play disc golf and don't think about like where I'm at or what I'm doing today or tomorrow or stuff like that. So I think the fact that I'm playing disc golf here is like making it a lot easier to me. But I feel like just like traveling in Europe is like when I go to Norway or Sweden or Estonia, it almost feels like I'm still in Finland somehow because it's so similar. Um, they have like the same restaurants or same gas stations or even same grocery stores and stuff like that. And it's also like I can go home in between if I really want to. So that also like feels safe to me. And then when I'm US, it feels like I'm so far away. I need to like go for a flight for like 10 hours to get here and then like have a rental car and stuff like that. And also like I have never been to US before, like before playing disc golf. And it was my first time here in 2022. I just felt like because I have been watching a lot of like movies and stuff like that. It was straight from a movie. I feel like everything was so big, everything was so different from Finland. Um, and I really like US. It's one of my favorite countries, but it's like so different. It's crazy that I even like it. if it makes any sense.
Important question.
But yeah, disc golf is my safe place for sure, and it makes it a lot easier.
Makes sense. Important question. Have you watched Tombstone? You're
No.
gonna have to go watch Tombstone now.
Okay.
It's a Western.
Okay. Okay, I will do.
Right.
I have heard the name before, but I will do it.
All right.
That's
Now,
the one
if
with
you're gonna-
Val Kilmer, right?
I think so. Yeah. Now,
That's
if you're
an
gonna take
amazing movie.
Finnish Cowboy, you've got to go watch Tombstone.
Okay. Okay. Can't wait.
Have you had some Texas barbecue while you've been in the States?
Yeah.
It's good, right?
I have. It's very good. It's very good. The food here is very good.
What was your celebration dinner
everywhere
after
you
you
go.
won?
We actually went to Texas Roadhouse. We didn't have too
Texas
many
Roadhouse, baby.
options. But it was-
Number one disc golf celebration station.
So
Yes.
I'm telling you,
I was-
Sean Jack, call Texas Roadhouse. We need a partnership on tour with Texas Roadhouse.
Yes, I was staying with Gannon and Alden and Gavin and those guys for like the first 2 or 3 weeks, and we went there like 2 or 3 times, and they really got me into that. Yeah,
It's a good spot. It's good.
yeah.
So are you excited for Worlds in Europe and like what that's going to be like? And I mean, you're going to be a superstar. I know you already are, but like even more so with Worlds being there this year.
Yeah, for sure. I have always said that regardless how I'm going to play, I think it's going to be like the best week of my career, like disc golf wise. I have never ever heard like so many times, even in like US, that people are going to watch like from US or Germany or Spain or anywhere from world really. And I have heard like so many times in US, so many times in wherever I go to play tournaments that I'm going to be there watching on site. I think it's going to be mind blowing, like how many people we can really fit into that small place. And just like the atmosphere, disc golf, like it's going to be. I don't even have like words for like how amazing it's going to be. It's going to be the best week of my career for sure.
I'm curious why you think disc golf is as popular as it is in Nordic countries. Because when I think about, in the US, right, where are, disc golf hubs? You got Florida, you've got Texas, you've got the Carolinas, right? Warm locations. And that's not to say, I mean, there's a great scene in Minnesota, Michigan, obviously, and those are cold, snowy places. But playing disc golf in the winter in Finland is not an easy task. It is not for the faint of heart.
No.
So how did disc golf become so like popular up in Nordic Europe?
Yeah, I've been thinking about the same thing actually. I think it's the fact that like everyone can go to play, like even if you're like 6 years old or you're like 10 years old, like everybody can play disc golf and they can play it with families or with friends or with whoever. But I really don't know like why exactly Finland. I don't really know because we have like a million feet of snow and like minus Fahrenheit all winter. And I used to play in that. I really used to play in that a lot for like my first 3 or 4 years of playing disc golf. I used to go like that's why I throw a lot of stances because I couldn't like run up in the snow. I think I have played a couple tournaments in like minus 10 Fahrenheit as well. It's like discs are breaking when they hit the trees and stuff like that. It's crazy. So I don't really know why Finland. That's a very good question, but I can say that people like take disc golf very professionally in Finland. They practice like professional athletes do. A lot of kids like look up to like people like maybe me, Seppo, Väinö Mäkelä. So we are like a big rock stars almost in Finland to those young disc golfers. It's crazy. It's like a disc golf wonderland.
Charlie, if I can just follow up real fast. How old were you when you and not even like started taking disc golf seriously, started playing, like, what is the earliest age you can remember, like, being introduced to what disc golf is?
I started out disc golf pretty late actually. I was the first one in my family to play disc golf. I think I was 13 or 14 years old. I think 13 years old. Um, and I became to take it like very seriously pretty fast. I think like after 1 year, I was already playing like competitions and like weeklies and stuff like that, and like go into a field and really like try to look up to people like Paul and Simon and try to like mimic their forms and putting styles and really like elevate my game. It's usually whatever I do, I really like to take it like really seriously and be my best version of myself, whatever I'm doing. So it was the same thing with disc golf, like right away.
Uh, I wanted to ask how did you prepare for this season during the off season?
Yeah, I think the first 2 weeks I did not touch a disc. That's pretty rare to me. I usually say that and then I touch the disc like next day or like the next 2 days. Um, but I did not do anything like disc golf wise in like 2 or 3 weeks. I went to a gym, I played tennis, I played padel. It's like doing everything I cannot do during the disc golf season too much. Playing ice hockey outside or um, hang out with friends or family. But after that, I throw indoors like every day. I putt inside every day, and I go to gym like 4 times a week, um, and play all kinds of different sports. And just, I think that I do all that. Of course, it's important, but I feel like the best thing for like my game and my mind is like not play tournaments in a couple months and just like let my mind rest for a little bit and just like relax. That's a big thing as well. I also like to play video games. Fortnite is my favorite, so I play a lot as well.
So, I'm. This is your second tour win in the U.S. Obviously, you've done a lot of winning in Europe, and you have one, you know, NT tier Elite Series win over in Europe. Um, what what do you think it means to you that you got another win in the States, especially early in the season like this?
Yeah, as I said before, it's a huge confidence boost for sure. It's just like being so far away from home and playing bad is so bad for like your confidence level. It's going down like so fast. Like I start to think about like why do I travel so far and play so bad and why am I even doing this?
Were you feeling
But
that
then when
way
you win
after
or when
the
you
Queen flight?
maybe not this year. That's more a thing in the past. I feel like when I was playing bad for like longer periods of time, I was really like questioning like should I really be here? Um, but when you win here, it's like of course you wanna play against the best in the world. That's like my dream, and to win against players like Paul McBeth or Ricky Wysocki, it's like I couldn't even dream about those things when I started disc golf. So winning in US it's so special. Uh, it feels like a of course I'm playing against best players, so it should feel special as well. But it's like a different world for me than winning in Europe.
Uh, Going back a little bit to this tournament and I guess your game in specific, it feels like one of your limitations at times can be your distance. And I don't remember if we've asked you on the show or not before, but how far do you throw your golf shots? You know, if you really need to stretch one out and you have lots of room, how far are you throwing? How do you feel like you compare next to some of the top guys on tour?
Yeah, I think I can confidently say that I can throw like 470 on like a pretty normal golf line. if I really want to, I think I can break 500 or like 510 with some wind even more. So I can do it, but it's just like if I start throwing farther than 470, I feel like I'm losing some accuracy. But I think that's also a thing that people don't talk too much about is like there is so many players like me on the tour that does not throw farther than like 470 or 500. I feel like it's like the elite 10% or like 15% that throw farther than me, and they can really like get some advantage of throwing far. Even of course like Portland or OTB, I think I have always played pretty good at OTB, even if it is it. Do you know if it's like the longest course on tour, Svensson Park for OTB?
It's up there. I forget if it's actually the straight up longest.
It has been in the past, though.
At least it feels the longest, at least to me.
Sure.
So it's crazy how I don't even feel like I'm playing that bad or like having huge disadvantage on like longer courses, even though I throw pretty short compared to like AB or Gannon or guys like that. So it's more of that like even though I leave myself like longer approaches, I'm pretty accurate until that 470 range. I feel like I'm pretty accurate throwing like as far as I can throw. So I just leave myself way longer approaches. Of course, I'm not as good as on like courses like MVP Open for like Maple Hill or like Green Mountain. Of course, I'm better at throwing in the woods, but I feel like I can also maybe even play for the win at like OTB or like Champions Cup this year if I really play my good game. Of course, it's like if it's windy or something like that, it's like I need to take out more unstable discs than my competitors. So that's a big thing as well.
How do you feel like you handle pressure? Like when you're near the lead or in the lead at a tournament?
I think pressure makes me a better player, actually. Um, I like pressure. It usually creates like I think excitement and pressure. It makes me play better every time. It's not like there's nothing bad about pressure in my opinion in my game.
So you've got your 2 U.S. based wins, but last season you finished third on the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings. You had a second place at it looks like Copenhagen. It was you had second at Waco. Obviously you had the win at Turku, and then this is not scrolling, and I don't know why. I know you had a couple other that you were near the top. What do you think it's going to take? So here we go. You had a second at Worlds. Obviously, the Krokol you had at fourth. What do you need to do in order to close out more tournaments? Like, what separates this weekend from those weekends?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm usually pretty good at closing tournaments or like playing. I'm playing my best game usually on the final round if I'm playing for the win. Um, and I feel like I haven't had a good chance of like showcasing that in US yet this year or like any of the years really. So I'm really excited to like get more chances and really play for the win because that's what I love the most about this game is like have an exciting final round with like tight battles and like 2 or 3 strokes difference all the time. It's the best thing in the world to like play for the win at that point. So I really think that I'm at my best when I'm playing for the win. So and it's also helping me like the pressure and everything. It's just like making me more confident and focus more on every shot and stuff like that. So I feel like if I'm playing for the win, I should always like be a tough guy to play against.
Who's going to get more wins this year? Discmania players or Discraft players?
This craft team is so huge. They have so many players. I'm going to throw the ball at them. If they can't win more than us, it's going to be bad for them, I feel like. So I will say Discraft, but I think the Sky team is. We only have 3 guys in MPO and Ella in FPO, but I feel like we can win just as much. We have the best player in the world, obviously, in Gannon, and then Kai and me are like low key good as well. So
Uh, you guys are only one behind right now, so you're
that's true. That's true.
you're still in there. So keep,
I was
just
actually I was actually signing some discs after my round, and then like so many fans say to me that Discraft didn't win this time. So it was funny how like that's the thing they are thinking about.
That's funny. So Music City is coming up. You finished 5th there last year. What do you think of the course? And obviously, you're going to be competitive to win it. Do you think you can go back to back?
I didn't hear you in the beginning, so can you repeat?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I was just saying that we've got Music City coming up in Nashville. So I was just curious for your
Yeah.
thoughts on the course, and if you think you can go back to back.
hmm Yeah, I really think that course is also good for me. I think I have played like at least 2 times now, and I really feel like I have like really dialed in my lines now, and I know we have almost the same layout as last year, so it should be good for me this time as well. Mm, I feel like on that course, I somehow feel like you need to kind of throw far as well on some of the holes, and then some of the holes you need to be really accurate. So it's really a good combination of like accuracy and then like long holes and go far as well. So, but I really feel like I can just play my game on that course and stay in bounds. That's a big thing on that course as well. So I have pretty good memories on that course, but I also have one bad one when I think I had my first DNF in the tournament on that course, that
2023.
tournament. Yes,
That was your
yes.
first ever
So
DNF?
yeah, yes. Hopefully it lasts as well.
What
It
happened?
was bad. It was my lower back. I had some lower back issues for like I would say like 10 years now. Haven't been bad like after that, but I needed to stop playing floorball and ice hockey because of that. So it's like a scoliosis in my lower back. That was pretty bad back then. So I have some bad memories from that course as well. I'm trying not to think about those coming tournament time, but
Turn them around. Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. What's the rest of your schedule? You're going to play Champions Cup, and when do you go back over to Europe?
Yeah, sure. I will actually go back home for like 2 or 3 weeks after MCO,
Okay.
just to get some rest and see my family and kind of reset. And then I will come back for Champions Cup. I will play Champions Cup, then actually Masters Cup for the first time. I get to play De La Vega uh, for the first time, and then I will play Cascade as well. I wanted to go back and defend my title there as well. So, and then I will go back to Konopiste. I will fly straight to Konopiste, and then I will play off the European events, and then come back for Declo, I think. So pretty normal schedule for me.
Cool. All right. Well, good luck. I know you're in Jonesboro right now. Are you playing this weekend, or are you on the fence?
I'm still thinking, but I'm leaning towards no. Um, I don't know even why. I just wanna have a chill week and really feel like ready come tournament time next week. So I think I will take a off week this week and just chill. That's gonna sound good right now.
All right. Well, Nicholas, congratulations once again on the win, and make sure you get those Finnish Cowboy PDs so that Josh can buy them out.
All right, deal. Thank you guys. I will get you at least one Finnish Cowboy disc.
All right.
That's
All right.
for
I love it. I'm stoked.
Awesome.
sure.
Niklas Anttila with us here on the Upshot. That is going to do it for today's show. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you Tuesday next week as we start getting ready for the Music City Open and the match play. That before we let you go, I think you're playing the match play, right?
Yes, I'm playing match play. Yeah,
Tell us what.
I don't think if I can say who I'm playing with, but I have a pretty exciting group actually to play with, so that's going to be nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. Are you looking forward to this just in general, like this new match play format and season long qualifying and stuff?
Yeah, I actually love a match play. I think it's like you play these tournaments every week, and then when you get to play match play every now and then, it's like so fun somehow. You can like be a little bit more relaxed and just like go for crazy shots if you really want to, and you're like playing against one guy and not like the whole field, so it's a little bit different. And I think we just need more tournaments like this, like more laid back and relaxed. So it's going to be very fun, I'm sure.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll look forward to it. Thank you, Niklas, and thank you everybody for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.